The rules of survival on the savanna are unforgiving, and only the strong and alert earn the right to endure. Muscles stay coiled tight, and the senses lock onto a target through a burst of dusty grass. In a few decisive seconds, the surge forward erupts, and the distance disappears. But the throne is also decided by fierce clashes with its own kind. On this grassland battleground, who would dare challenge the one who holds the power to finish it? Observe the scars on the face of a male lion weighing nearly 420 pounds. They are not marks from hunting, but a record of authority, etched by others of his kind. Across territories that can span hundreds of square miles, the most persistent threat does not come from prey, but from rivals within the same species. When a coalition of 2 or 3 unfamiliar males crosses a boundary, a biological shift in power officially begins. There is no negotiation. Roars carry as far as 5 miles, serving as a final declaration of control. Large bodies draw closer, heavy shoulders, thick necks, manes raised like living shields. They do not rush forward recklessly. They test one another, applying position, pressure, and coordination to force gradual retreat. As distance closes, there is a lateral drive, a moment of sustained pressure using full body weight, then separation to reset advantage. This is not a brief encounter, but a prolonged assessment of endurance and resolve. If the resident male loses control of the territorial center, withdrawal becomes unavoidable. The victor assumes command, and the structure of the group shifts immediately. Old bonds dissolve, and reproductive opportunity is reassigned to a new genetic line. The savanna never stands still. It restores balance through cycles of dominance, rising and receding, so life can continue. Under the blazing savanna sun, spotted hyenas are the true operators of a carefully calculated game. Power rests with the dominant females, matriarchs weighing around 140 pounds, with needle-sharp focus and unwavering resolve. They do not simply wait for opportunity, they organize formations, lookouts, trackers, and flankers, using calls and scent cues to tighten the circle. A clan can number up to about 80 individuals, functioning like a coordinated unit with defined roles. With jaw strength exceeding 1,000 pounds per square inch, hyenas can process even the toughest remains that many other species leave behind, converting what is left into usable energy. Their distinctive calls ripple through the air like a signal. They spread out, close ranks, and advance step by step, applying pressure on a lioness guarding a valuable meal. Here, outcomes are often decided not by a sudden rush, but by persistence and psychological pressure. Lions respond in kind. Long-maned males step forward like a living barrier, using mass and sound to halt the opposing advance. At times, they even move deliberately toward the edge of hyena shelter zones, forcing the clan to retreat deeper to maintain cohesion. Then the pace settles again. This rivalry repeats daily because both play essential roles. Lions regulate grazing herds, while hyenas clear what remains, keeping the grasslands balanced and cycling efficiently. Across the vast African savanna, where every unit of energy must be carefully calculated, lions and African wild dogs represent two opposing survival strategies. One relies on immediate strength and decisive pressure, while the other depends on tempo, endurance, and precise coordination among individuals. A pack of African wild dogs moves like sharp streaks across the grassland, agile, controlled, and perfectly synchronized. Each individual weighs only about 70 pounds, yet together they function as a complete system, rotating leaders, sustaining speeds above 35 miles per hour across long distances. As a result, their hunting success rate exceeds 75%. Among the highest of any land predator. Yet the savanna is never an unclaimed space. Every hunt carries the risk of encountering other predators, those that do not need speed to assert advantage. From the tall grass, a lion emerges, unhurried, without prolonged pursuit. A single, short charge is enough to disrupt the steady rhythm of the pack's movement. The air tightens for a moment. The wild dogs immediately split direction. Adult members deliberately alter course, choosing to abandon the hunt to preserve the group. For a species built on endurance, knowing when to withdraw is also a form of success. For the lion, it is a statement of territory. No confrontation is required. With presence alone, at the right moment, order on the savanna is restored. On the African savanna, the cheetah represents pure speed, a streamlined body built to erupt in an instant. Many adults weigh around 140 pounds, with a light frame, a spine that flexes like a spring, and wide paws that grip the ground during high-speed turns. When the moment opens, acceleration can approach 60 miles per hour within seconds. This is the peak of biological efficiency. But that peak does not last. Most chases conclude within about 30 seconds before the body is forced to stop. And the moment of stopping is the true test. Breathing becomes rapid. Heat builds quickly. In open terrain, the cheetah needs several minutes to recover. Within that pause, the fastest runner on the savanna becomes the most exposed. From a distance, a lion enters the frame. Unhurried. No need to compete in speed. A slow, steady approach alone is enough to compress the space. As the gap narrows to a few dozen yards, the choice becomes clear. Hold position to protect a fragile advantage or withdraw to preserve life. On the savanna, speed creates opportunity, but strength and control of space decide who remains. Survival, at times, is knowing when to stop. So there is another chance to surge forward tomorrow. Lions and crocodiles are not lifelong enemies, but on the African plains, they are drawn together at riverbanks, where life concentrates and risk rises. At this boundary, awareness matters more than aggression. The Nile crocodile is a master of ambush. A full-grown adult can reach about 15 feet in length and weigh over 1,000 pounds. It rarely acts in haste. Resting motionless beneath the surface, with only its eyes exposed, the crocodile governs the river through absolute patience. In this setting, advantage often belongs to the one that blends seamlessly into the current. The rhythm shifts when lions step down to drink or cross the river. This is the moment of highest risk. A crocodile can surge forward in an instant, but lions are not easily caught off guard. With flexible bodies, quick reactions, and heightened alertness, most encounters last only a few tense seconds. Then both sides disengage, conserving energy for what comes next. When a crocodile moves onto land, the balance changes. On open ground, lions work as a group to compress space and control the pace of an animal adapted to water. If held away from the river for too long, the crocodile loses its advantage, and the path back narrows. A rare scenario, but one that remains within the limits nature has allowed. The leopard is a solitary big cat, weighing around 200 pounds, renowned for agility and near-perfect concealment. In its world, survival depends on silence, avoidance, and movement as light as shadow among tall tree canopies. But nature does not always favor caution. Many dangerous encounters begin around a meal. A leopard drags its catch to a secure place, sometimes lifting it into a tree to avoid ground-level scavengers. Yet when lions arrive, they may still climb the trunk to claim the food, pushing the situation beyond usual limits and forcing the leopard into direct exposure. When no tall tree remains as an escape, the leopard's chances decline sharply. At this point, the pressure applied by lions does not stem from hunger, but from an instinct to control space. In the natural world, dominance is not only about holding territory, it is a stark reminder that survival always has boundaries, and not every species is allowed to cross them for long. There is no warning, only a sudden burst that breaks the silence. In the frozen Arctic, apex predators combine strength, patience, and finely honed instincts. A successful hunt does not come from raw power, but from the ability to wait, calculate, and choose the right moment. And when that moment arrives, everything ends so quickly that the prey has no time to realize it has stepped into a trap. As Arctic winds sweep across barren moss fields and temperatures plunge well below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, Arctic wolves begin their hunt. Smaller and lighter than polar bears, each wolf weighs only about 110 pounds, yet their strength does not lie in individual muscle. Living in packs of 5 to 10 members, Arctic wolves operate as a fully coordinated tactical unit. Their white fur blends into the snow, allowing them to move almost invisibly through the harsh landscapes of Greenland. In contrast to the heavy confrontation with musk oxen, hunting hares is a test of reflexes and coordination. Arctic hares are small, fast, and constantly change direction across the snow. The wolves do not chase in disorder. They spread out, reduce space, and guide movement until the escape path becomes predictable. One mistimed step is enough for the pursuit to end as quickly as the cold wind. Across the frozen plains of the Arctic, a wolf pack can travel nearly 50 miles a day in search of survival opportunities. Their usual targets are the tundra's moving fortresses, musk oxen. Musk oxen are built to endure extreme winters, with adults weighing close to 900 pounds. When threatened, the herd quickly forms a defensive circle, horns facing outward, calves protected at the center. Against this living wall, Arctic wolves do not rely on force. They observe patiently, gradually applying pressure and forcing the formation to shift. The standoff continues until fatigue exposes a weakness. In a brief moment, the herd loses cohesion, and one individual, often staying close to a calf, falls out of sync with the rest. In this frozen land, the boundary between survival and loss is fragile, where persistence and calculation often decide the outcome of an encounter. Along rocky coastlines and open ground near the edge of the ice, the paths of Arctic wolves sometimes cross polar bear territory. Here, limited food forces both species into the same space, but not into direct confrontation. A silent distance exists, far enough to avoid conflict, close enough to observe every reaction. Wolves understand the imbalance in strength. and rarely approach on their own. They follow deep tracks in the snow, read movement patterns, and wait for the right moment. Once the larger presence moves on, the pack cautiously advances, making use of what remains to sustain the group. In this frozen world, choosing not to confront is a wise strategy. A quiet division where each species maintains its role in order to endure. In the frozen waters of the North Atlantic, orcas are more than marine animals. They are strategic tacticians. These giants can reach lengths of up to 26 feet and weigh more than 12,000 pounds. Yet their true strength does not lie in individual muscle. Orcas live in tightly bonded family groups where hunting knowledge is passed down through generations. Each group has its own calls, its own methods, and a shared memory of currents, drifting ice, and ways to guide prey into inescapable formations. Underwater, dolphins are symbols of speed, agility, and advanced social intelligence. Orcas do not respond with isolated strength. They answer with collective strategy. With some of the most developed brains in the ocean and a complex communication system, an orca group operates as a single unit. Under the guidance of the oldest female, the leader within their matriarchal structure, roles are clearly assigned as the formation gradually closes in from multiple directions. There is no sudden rush, only sustained and steady pressure that slowly limits every option. As order breaks down, the advantage shifts entirely to those who planned each movement in advance. Along the icy edges of the Arctic, orcas do not rely on individual force. They hunt through collective intelligence. Rather than attacking directly, the group lines up in parallel, swimming in precise unison to generate waves several feet high, enough to disturb the fragile balance of ice sheets. Even the most alert prey cannot withstand the coordinated power of such calculated movement. In this harsh environment, every motion is carefully measured, because even a small error means wasting vital energy. Notably, not every orca group knows this technique. It exists only within certain populations, learned and passed down across generations. For orcas, hunting is not just instinct, it is culture. And it is this coordination that has made them the ocean's quiet rulers. When encountering migrating gray whale mothers and calves, orcas focus on breaking protection rather than displaying force. They apply persistent pressure across miles, taking turns moving in close to gradually separate the young from the mother and drain endurance. There is no haste or disorder, only a sustained formation that weakens defenses over time. When the calf loses its ability to keep pace, the pursuit ends quietly. This is a victory defined by patience, discipline, and a deep understanding of physical limits during migration. This is why orcas are often called the uncrowned rulers of the deep ocean. Each ambush is not meant to display dominance, but to maintain the ocean's delicate balance. On the endless stretches of ice, the polar bear stands as a symbol of solitary and enduring strength. An adult male can weigh more than 1,300 pounds and stand nearly 10 feet tall when upright. A thick layer of fat and pure white fur allows the bear to retain heat, even when temperatures drop below -40 degrees Fahrenheit. Unlike orcas, polar bears do not rely on groups. Their survival is closely tied to patience, an exceptionally sharp sense of smell, and the ability to endure weeks without food. Seals are the polar bear's most vital source of energy. But instead of chasing, the bear chooses to wait. It can remain completely still for hours beside breathing holes in the ice, guided by a sense of smell capable of detecting prey from more than a mile away. When the moment arrives, the polar bear moves like a released spear, fast, precise, and silent. The hunt is over in seconds, yet this is only part of the survival story. An adult walrus can weigh more than 3,000 pounds and is rarely a viable target. Polar bears look for opportunities only among weaker individuals or those separated from the group. Even then, they are prepared to retreat if the risk outweighs the reward. In the Arctic, knowing when to step back is not failure. It is a survival strategy. Life here is not defined by hunting alone. As sea ice shrinks and food becomes scarce, encounters between individual bears occur more often. These are not displays of mindless aggression, but controlled confrontations between males competing for territory and the chance to reproduce. Most encounters end with one bear retreating, because even a minor injury can become a serious survival threat in this frozen land. Within this harsh landscape, mother bears become living fortresses. Though much smaller and lighter, they are willing to stand their ground against males twice their size to protect their cubs. Not through superior strength, but through unwavering determination. To survive in the Arctic, polar bears need more than raw power. They endure through resilience, careful judgment, and above all, an acceptance of limits that cannot be crossed. With powerful muscles and a resonant roar, the lion affirms its place as an unshakable monarch of the savanna. If the strength of nature has proven inspiring, Agile helps support this series. Subscribe and turn on notifications to stay connected with what comes next. The next story is waiting just ahead.